All right, good afternoon everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Colonel Jason Condrey, I'm the Garrison Commander, and I have with me today Superintendent Joe Malloy. So notice the deliberate social distancing. That means we're going to have to talk a lot louder in order for you to hear us. So this live stream today is focused on our school students. I want to talk about COVID-19, virtual school, or complaints that you might have about your new teachers. By the way, that appears to be a two-way street. I understand that there are several new homeschool teachers that are talking to the principal about transferring this child out of their class. So, because I want to make sure that we provide the right answer to the right audience, and I know that a lot of kids will be using their parents' Facebook accounts, I'm asking that you put a name and what level, whether it's elementary school, middle school, or high school, before the question, so that so Mr. Malloy and I know how to address this, address the question properly. So, and before I go any further, Mr. Malloy, anything that you'd like to say to our kids out there?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank you all for tuning in, and I want you to know that your regular teachers really miss seeing you every day in person. But they're working very hard to make sure that you receive a quality education. We appreciate your flexibility, and you're growing along with us on this. And I want you to know that we really welcome your input and appreciate any feedback that you can give us. So when you're working on those online sessions with your teachers, treat it like you're in class. Ask the questions that the teachers need to hear to help us get better. So thanks again, and we're looking forward to your questions.
Thanks, Joe. Okay, so I don't think that we as a community have found a way to leverage the power of the youth in our community when it comes to understanding, and enforcing the rules of social distancing, how to self-quarantine, self-isolate, and of course what the community needs to understand in order to get through this. So the kids out there, you guys, you are inspirational, and you motivate us. You motivate things to happen. As an example, the mosh pit that the food court becomes after school gets out, that motivated me to take all the tables and chairs away. Another example, after seeing a cute couple walking toward the high school, holding hands, making out, the morning after I had talked to the entire community on Facebook Live about social distancing and how important it was, that motivated me to lay on my horn. Yeah, you know who you are. So I want you to help me inspire others to be disciplined in what we're doing and doing the things that help keep us in this community safe. So your keen abilities of observation and unconstrained honesty is specifically what I want to leverage after today's discussion. And so I admit I smile when I think about one of our kids pointing and saying without any attempt to manage the volume of a voice that, hey, that guy behind us is supposed to be 6 feet away. Or, hey, unless they're a family, there shouldn't be 3 people standing and talking next to each other. That's the kind of honesty and public shaming that I think will help us through this issue. And so, I know we've had some questions. I will start with one, and then between myself and Mr. Malloy, we'll bounce back and forth. And so some of these have names, some of them don't, so please bear with us. So the first question, are children, teens, allowed to be having friends over to hang out and spend the night during this time on or off base? Thank you. My answer is simple, no. Right now, every time you get together with your friends, you potentially are getting the virus from your friend and then bringing it back to your family. So I will tell you right now, if you want to have a sleepover, if you want to hang out, pull out your device and do it that way.
Okay, question 2. We're up at RB, and our community would like to honor the kids who have birthdays but aren't able to have parties with parades, walking in cars driving by the buildings if possible. We would enforce a strict social distance of no less than 10 feet per family if walking before we start. Wanted to run this first by the garrison and get your input and permission. We will work with whatever guidelines are given. Thank you for your time. And I would have to say on behalf of the commander, no.
Hard pass. The next question, this one comes from Delilah, 3rd grade. Can my friends and I ride our bikes and still be social distance? If so, how far apart should we be? Delilah, you should not be riding your bike with your friends. Get your brother, sister, your mom, your dad, and go for a bike ride. I'm not as concerned about social distancing with you and your family. So, great opportunity over the next couple weeks to spend some quality family time together. You may see your friends out while you are riding bikes. They may pass and go the opposite direction. Please feel free to wave. Do so at a distance.
Okay, if normal classes are canceled for the remainder of the year, how will the high school final exams be accomplished? Especially the ones that are under an IEP and not able to receive the proper assistance on their plan. Those of you who have started school, you guys have been into it. The high school will still be able to get their exams. They will still take their exams. And there are special plans that are in place for students that are on IEPs. The aides and the special ed teachers are still coordinating with the regular teachers to make sure that you receive the support that you're supposed to receive. So both of those things will go on in a digital environment. It will be different, but those things will go on.
I've got a question with 4 parts, so bear with me. First one is, how long do you think we'll be out of school for? Is each family going to get ration cards for necessities like eggs, milk, toilet paper, paper towels, hand sanitizer, etc.? What will happen if you need to go to the grocery store, but you have tested positive so you can't go outside? And are there different rules for people on base from German rules? And so I'm going to hit each one of those down the line. So how long do you think we'll be out of school for? I would be surprised if we go back to school before school is scheduled to end this summer. I would like to be wrong in that area, but I just simply don't know. Is each family going to get ration cards for necessities like eggs, milk, toilet paper, paper towels, and hand sanitizer? The reality is the only rationing that I see happening is related to alcohol, coffee, tobacco, and of course fuel. So right now we're not planning on rationing things that you can get in the commissary, you can get in the PX, other than those items. And if there are shortages, then we may implement what we call buy limits. So if we get a brand new case of hand sanitizer and everybody wants some hand sanitizer, we're going to ask people only to buy 3. What happens if you need to go to the grocery store if you are self-quarantined? That's where I'm going to ask the units and neighbors to help out those to their left and right and take care of the people that are on their team. So you may find out at 10 o'clock one night that you and your family need to be self-isolated and self-quarantined. And chances are nobody has stocked up enough toilet paper for 2 weeks for a family of 6 in their house. And so you're going to need the help of others. The good news is we're already making those connections. Your family should be discussing with those around not only how you're going to get support, but how your family is going to support others, because that just as easily happens with your neighbor or whoever you're having that conversation with. That's the nature of this virus that we're dealing with, is you can't see it. It's all around us. And the reality is the moment that it happens, you need to have a plan in place. There needs to be some preparation. Now, I'm not saying that so we go and clean off the shelves at the commissary again and there's no toilet paper left and there's no ramen noodles or macaroni and cheese. The supply lines have not been interrupted. We'll continue to get stuff to put on our shelves in our stores. So that doesn't mean you shouldn't prepare. You shouldn't be thinking about it, and you shouldn't be discussing it with your friends and your neighbors. And then the last piece is, are there different rules for people on base from German rules? No, we are required to implement the same kind of control measures off the installation is on. 3/4 of our community lives off post. And so there's no reason why we should be any different in the rules that we apply on base, on the installation, to what's happening off. So you will see us very deliberately match the kind of limitations that you see off the installation. Okay. Before Joe goes to the next, I got a couple of recommended ideas from some of our newly minted parent/homeschool teachers. So they wanted me to share with you some virtual learning extra credit activities, and so I'll share a couple here and then throughout. So first of all, you're going to get plus 10 bonus points for not calling your new homeschool teacher to help with some sort of technical difficulty more than 10 times a day. So you're going to have to keep strict count in order to ensure you get your bonus points. Second one, 10 bonus points if you use the toilet brush. However, if you use the toilet brush without flushing first, that's a minus 10 bonus points. So any bonus points you had previously, gone. Next one, and I'll just hit 3. 10 bonus points for not having pajama day every day. Okay, Joe, you had a question?
Okay. So are children, teens allowed to be having friends over to hang out and spend the night during this time on or off days? And once again, that's a no. Hate to be the bearer of bad news.
This one here, this question comes from Juliana. She's 8 years old. When is coronavirus going to go away? Where can Daddy get a haircut? Can I cut his hair? Unfortunately, Juliana, I think that coronavirus is not going to go away in time for your dad to not need a haircut. And so I dare him to let you cut his hair. I would like to see what that picture looks like.
Okay. Does school still end at 13:30 on Thursdays? And the answer is yes. We have that as protected time for the teachers to collaborate and continue to improve on your digital learning. So yes, that school will still end at 13:30 on Thursdays.
Okay, I've got a question here from Lee, age 6. What happens to you if you get the coronavirus? So Lee, I know with only 6 years under your belt, you may not remember the last time you had a cold or had the sniffles. The reality is you'll cough, you'll get sweaty. It'll be like having a couple bad days. You'll get some medicine from the doctors, and the reality is if it gets really, really bad, your mom and dad may have to take you to see a doctor. But understand that people get sick all the time. Right now we have first-class doctors, first-class medical care, and I am convinced that if you get sick, we're ready to take care of you.
Okay, Grace in the 4th grade, will we still have to take the PARCC test? And the answer is yes, that will still happen.
This question just came in from Billy. He's in the elementary school. So his question is, what is the proper way to wash your hands when you're not at school? And so I've called in a guest who's going to show you how they do it where he's from.
Sir, you asked for how to properly wash your hands in Stuttgart. Well, here, Stuttgart community, this is how we're going to do it. You know, we know you're at home, and when you get out there, I'm going to take a little break, and you go to the bathroom there, and you utilize it. And then, of course, you got to wash your hand, as the commander said. So I'm going to teach you a little thing we do back in the islands from Samoa. When we say me, 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 that means rub. So as you're putting soap on your hands, you say me, 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 me. You're rubbing and rubbing that soap, rubbing that soap. Then you rinse it off, then you rinse it off, me, 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 me. And then when you really get excited, you say bacha, which means clap. So you me, 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 bacha. So I think everyone out there just did exactly what I told you. So let's try it again. So we go me, 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 me. We got the soap rubbing. We got it in the water. We're in the sink. We're having fun in there. And the sergeant major says, bacha, then one class. Bacha. Oh, that water's there. Now we're going to try it 2 times. So once again, we'll put some soap on there. Me, 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 me. Rubbing it, rubbing, rubbing, rubbing. Nice and dry. I'm going to say bacha, one clap, bacha. When I say bacha twice, I'm going to say lua bati, and you do it 2 times. Here we go. Me, 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 me. We're washing our hands, bacha. Luapati! All right, that's how you do it, Stuttgart. Let's make sure we wash our hands and continue to wash our hands. Have a great day.
Awesome.
Thank you, Sergeant.
You have a question, Joe?
Yes, I can. Yes, I do. Can my friends and I ride our bikes and still be social distance? If so, how far apart should we be? If you're going to ride your bike, I highly recommend that you ride with mom and dad and keep that social distance. Well, if you're with mom and dad, you're okay. But we still recommend keeping that social distance of 1.5 meters or 6 feet.
So this question is from Janaya, 4th grade. My mom just came from the U.S. Will she be okay? Short answer is yes. She's going to be spending some time at home with you because as you come into this country from any place else that has the virus, and at this point it's pretty much anywhere, then the requirement is to stay at home and self-quarantine for 2 weeks. So she's going to be fine. She's going to be spending a lot of time at home with you.
Okay, for Marcus, a 5th grader, if we're out of school through the end of the school year, how will rising 6th graders be prepared for middle school? So the middle school staff is really working in a way to figure out how to best prepare you for that digitally. It will have to look different from what we normally do, but there will be something in place to help ease that transition into middle school.
So I've got a question here from Gwyneth. Age 11, if I get quarantined, can I still go out on my balcony? The answer, Gwyneth, is yes. And when the sun's out like it is today, I want you sitting out on your balcony because the sun kills the virus. And the warmth, when we have some warmth, kills the virus. And so yes, a balcony is not a playground. It's not the gazebo out next to the stairwell apartment. That's not a place where all of your friends are going to come hang out. So that is a space that is unique to you and your family. Feel free to use that to get out.
Okay, at this time, does it look like graduation will be canceled? And if it is canceled, do you foresee holding a virtual ceremony? And if so, how would a virtual graduation work? Right now, under our current situation, it probably will be canceled. I can't see how we could possibly hold a regular graduation in a way that we could maintain our social distances and keep people safe. And once again, as far as doing that virtually, that's uncharted territory that we're in the process of working out and figuring out. But we will do everything in our power to make that as special and as meaningful as any graduation we've had in the past.
So I've got a question here from Cammie, age 6. How does the virus make you sick? So first of all, Cammie, you have to come in contact with the virus. And I know that may be confusing. So the reason why we tell people to socially distance, to stand 6 feet apart, as far away as I am from Mr. Malloy, is that science and research shows that a sneeze or a cough travels 5.5 feet. So here's a math word problem. If a cough and a sneeze travel 5.5 feet, how far away do you need to be from somebody else if they cough or sneeze to avoid getting the virus on you? You can leave your answers in the comment section. So someone coughing on you, or coughing on their hands and then touching you, or coughing on their hands and then touching the doorknob or whatever that you then come and touch after them. Those are the things that once you've touched those things that they've touched or touched your hand and then you touch your face, that's the way the virus makes you sick. And it takes several days. You may have the virus and not know, which is why this virus is so tricky, because you can't necessarily see it, and the moment you get it, you don't start feeling bad. And so that's why we're having such a challenge. That's why it's such a problem, in this country and in our country back in the United States. Wait, I know you got a question, but okay. I feel like I need to add in some more extra credit. So, you can get extra credit, 10 bonus points, for getting fully dressed. That's socks, shoes, and yes, underwear. And no, I assure you, pants are not optional. The fact that you're on a video camera, both your friends and your teachers will know. And I fully expect any good homeschool teacher to find the right moment when the when the mic is not muted to out you for not having pants on during school. You also get 10 bonus points for limiting snacks to 2 per day. It's called using your school stomach. I assure you that you will survive until 2:30 in the afternoon when school is over. Back to you.
Okay, this is from Don. Why are we doing spring break if we can't leave the house? Okay, well, spring break, although it is a break for students, it's also a break for people who are working and for your teachers. Your teachers have been working all this time during the regular school year, and they're working extremely hard now putting these lessons together. They will still need a break, even though they can't leave the house. And you can leave the house under certain conditions with your parents, those kinds of things. We do want you to get outside, but we understand that travel and things like that are off, and you're going to have to just be a lot more creative.
Great. I've got kind of the same question from 4 different kids out there. So Kyra, 7th grade, Addison, 5th grade, Sophia, 1st grade, and Connor, 5th grade. Will the base be locked down due to COVID? And kind of related to that is, what do we do? Because I go to a German school, if the base is locked down, what should I do? So first of all, we will never close the gates. The gates will never be closed. The installation will be open. I will make sure of that. And my job with your help is to make sure that all the things that we rely on base are open. Talking about the commissary, the PX, the gas station, all those things that we own and control on the base. We can't control what happens off the base. I don't know what may happen to the grocery store that you and your family, if you live off the installation, go to every week, every Saturday. I don't know if that one will close. So because I don't know if that one will stay open, that tells me I must keep all the things that we have here open. And so that's what we're working to do. That's what I need your help to ensure that we're able to do. Our base, our installation, has got to be the shelter for when things get really, really bad. So we are not going to lock down. We are going to limit our movement, and we're going to be very deliberate about how we limit our movement so that we don't allow this virus to spread. We have got to keep it from getting from one person to the next person. And when we do that, that's when we beat the virus.
Okay, if our PCS move is on hold past June, and we've been told we're moving, can we register for school next year? Yes, you can. Actually, the online registration system has opened up today, started today, and because there's really no way of predicting what's going to happen in the future and the effect this is going to have on PCS moves, we highly recommend that you still register online for next year.
Great. So here's a question from Lena, 4th grade. Will we have to cancel travel this summer? So unfortunately, spring break has been canceled, or it's more of a staycation. I know that's disappointing for my kids. It's disappointing for us. I am hopeful that we won't have to cancel summer vacation. I do not want to spend the entire summer with no school, with the kids in the house, and I'm sure that all of our new homeschool teachers feel the exact same thing. So I'm hopeful that we will have control over this virus, or at least have dealt with it in a way that it is not ruling our lives the way it is right now. So more to follow on that one, Nina.
Okay, Kanan, 11th grade. I was supposed to meet with my counselor for college planning. How will that work? The counselors, just like your teachers, will have office hours virtually where you can meet with them. There should be a link on the digital learning page where you can go to that and find a time that you can meet with your counselor. You can also still email them and arrange a time to meet with them.
So this is a question from Shalala, 7th grade. Does everyone need to be tested before we come back to school? I think the short answer is no. We will have people that get sick and people that don't get sick. And the reality is we have that all the time. This is a new virus and we're learning about it. But the reality is there's no reason to test everyone because if you test somebody today, the reality is they may come in contact with the virus tomorrow. And so it'll create a false sense of security that truly isn't necessary.
Okay, I got a question that just says prom. Yeah, as heartbreaking as it is, it looks like that we can't do prom at this time. Hopefully things will change and we'll be able to do some sort of social event digitally, but understandably we can't do prom.
So this question is from Daniel, grade 5. Why do our parents still have to go to work? And Daniel, that kind of gets at the whole reason why we're here in Germany. All of our parents, all of your parents out there have jobs that require them to come to this place and go to work each and every day. And that's to support, other people and other missions across 2 continents. And so those people depend on your parents every day. And so they can't stop going to work. They have to go to work so that they can provide in time of need for all of those people spread across all of Europe and all of Africa. And so your mom and dad, as they go to work, they know that they're exposing themselves to this virus and really to any risk as you get in a car and drive from point A to point B. And the reality is they're doing that because they believe it's necessary to take care of people that are out there.
Okay. So this was, will elementary schools still do standardized testing in April and May? And we're still looking for how we can make that occur. Right now I would say yes, it will occur, but how that will happen, we're figuring that out. We're working on it.
So 3 different people, same question. So Luke, kindergarten, Jacob, preschool, and Elizabeth, preschool. So the question is, will the Easter Bunny not come this year? So first of all, the coronavirus doesn't affect bunnies. Second, I've already approved installation access for the Easter Bunny. Doesn't have an ID card, and he has a guest pass, so as long as he's not trying to sign in before 6 a.m., he'll be able to get onto the installation. So I see no reason why the Easter Bunny won't be able to come.
Okay.
You got another one?
No. Well, we've done this one before. If I could still do
I know we got a few minutes. So yeah. I tell you what, I've got some more extra credit that that I want to make sure I share. So this one's kind of a collage of things that I think could generate some bonus points for you. So plus 10 bonus points for brushing your teeth for school, and an additional 5 if you do it before you go to bed that night. Using only 1 cup for the whole day, plus 10 bonus points. Not leaving the milk or cereal boxes out on the counter at your new school, plus 10 bonus points. Not leaving the milk out of the fridge at your new school, plus 10 bonus points. And I'm sure I'm leaving something out. Oh yeah, picking up your shoes at your new school and putting them away, plus 10 bonus points. And then the last one, and I'll leave it with this. So plus 10 bonus points for limiting eye rolls, audible sighs, and dramatically throwing yourself onto the furniture at your new school, whether that be a bed, a couch, a beanbag, wherever you are learning right now, plus 10 bonus points. So I'm sure there are much more of those out there, and as our new homeschool teachers are experiencing this along with you, this is truly just day 3 of homeschool after all. We'll have more opportunities for extra credit. So I've got a couple more questions here. I know we've only got a few more minutes left. I've got 2, so I've got 5 more questions. So this one, it's important. Is the mail safe to handle? Is the newspaper safe to handle? The virus can be transmitted by contact. And so what I will say is wipe it off before you try and open it. We're going to keep the mailroom open, but the reality is the virus is everywhere. We need to assume it's that way, and so that's why washing your hands is so important. So when you open the mail, wash your hands. Will there be summer sports? This came from Jackson, age 11. Yes, you may be watching them on your TV, but there will be summer sports. all kidding, of course. I'm hoping that soon we'll be able to get teams back together and out there and enjoying some of the sports. This one came from Kaylee, 5th grade. How do MPs test for the virus? We don't want our MPs testing for the virus. They're there to protect you and to ensure the laws are followed. We have doctors that are doing the testing for the virus, and that's done at the Patch Clinic. There's a drive-through that we set up just for that. So if the MPs are not testing, I do want to make sure that they are protected from the virus. So if somebody in your house is sick, there should be a sign on your door that tells your neighbors and any firemen or police officers that somebody in your house is sick so that they can put on the right stuff to make sure they are protected before they come in to help you. Can the doctors get corona? This comes from Juan, age 11. The short answer is yes, everybody can get coronavirus. Our doctors are very, very focused on doing the things like washing your hands and other things to ensure that they don't get the virus. If they do, then they're going to go home and wait until they no longer have the virus before they come back and try and help people across the installation. And then here's the last question. This is from Sarah, 4th grade. How will we know this is over? I promise you, I will tell you when this is over. I want it to be over as bad as everybody else does. And as soon as I know, I will share it with everybody out there. So I know this is tough. Times are tough. We're trying to figure out how to do school, how to maintain friendships, whether sports will happen, prom, virtual prom. I'll be interested to see how that one works. But I really appreciate Mr. Malloy coming and joining for today's virtual town hall. I know there's a lot of questions out there that we didn't answer. And I will tell you, I need this audience right here focused on the things that we need to do. Social distancing. We need to be 6 feet away from each other. We need to do the right things, to wash our hands, to do personal hygiene. We need to keep far away from each other. All the rules that are necessary as a result of this as a result of this virus, I need your help in enforcing for all those adults out there that don't seem to be paying attention and aren't focused on helping us solve this problem. And so our family members, our neighbors, your friends, some of them are going to get sick. I don't want that to make you scared. That happens every year this time of year. This virus has us paying attention to that much, much more. And so I will tell you that the number one thing that we need to do is take care of each other. Be aware. Stay in contact. You get to see your friends in the classroom each day, and I'm sure you're getting plenty of time on devices where you're playing games and having interactions. So take care of each other. That's what I'm asking you to do. Take care of your parents. Take care of each other. Take care of your neighbors. Figure out how everybody can be part of the solution. And so I look forward to your ideas as to how we can do this better. I look forward to additional questions. And again, the moment I know something is different, I'll share it with you. So thanks. Have a good day. Good luck with school.